Does estate planning change when death has a date? Hi, Nancy Bover here with Agape and Next Steps. Today I wanted to talk about the effects that opting for MAID, medical assistance in dying, can have on your estate planning. Now, this topic can be very delicate. There are people who are very, very pro-MAID, and there are people who are very, very against MAID. The purpose of this article and this video is not to get into those kinds of discussions, is to talk about the practicalities when somebody does choose to end their life and end their suffering through a legally sanctioned option like MAID. None of us knows when we're going to pass away. None of us has that crystal ball. We don't know what is in store. We can wake up and we can be perfectly fine and we can drop dead from a heart attack. Or that phrase, you go out and this is the day you get hit by a bus. But in reality, there are people who have chronic illnesses, who have diseases that are going to end their lives. And we now have a legally sanctioned option where we can choose the date of our death. We can choose how we're going to die, and we can take ourselves out of that place of suffering should we choose to. Now, I'm not going to get into the technicalities or the legalities of it. That's something that you would have to discuss with your doctor. There are protocols that have to be followed in order for that to happen. What I'm going to talk about is how that affects your estate planning. When we don't know what our date of death is, we continue to procrastinate doing our estate planning. Less than 50% of Canadians actually have a will. And of those people who do have a will, less than half of them have them reviewed and know that they're current or have done the rest of their estate planning. Estate planning is more than just a will. Estate planning is making sure that you have your finances structured in such a way that they're going to be tax efficient. It's having that power of attorney document and that medical directive in place in case incapacity happens through medical issues or through an accident where you can't speak for yourself. But when people opt for MAID, that gives them an opportunity that a lot of people don't have to make sure that their estate planning is in place. They can make sure that those medical directives are in place. They can make sure that those power of attorney documents are in place, because with some of these life-threatening diseases that people have where they can opt for MAID, the progression of those diseases can put somebody in a coma where they can't make those decisions for themselves. And if those documents aren't in place before that happens, then your family would end up having to petition the courts for the right to act on your behalf. So by being able to create those documents ahead of time, it gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're very clear. You have a finite window of time. It's not like you're making a plan today and you might live for another 40 years. If you're making a plan today and you're opting for MAID, you might only have 4 months. Forget about 40 years. It also gives you a great opportunity to be able to plan your death. You can plan your funeral. In fact, I know that there are some instances where people who have opted for MAID have held what they call a wake, so that they're able to be there before they pass away to have some closure with their loved ones about what that death will bring and what that will mean to each of them. You can write your own obituary. You can talk with your executor. Make sure that your executor understands everything, where everything is, and how to proceed. Now, there are a few things that this planning won't help. One of those things is the settling of your estate. Because you've had the opportunity to discuss things with your executor, which, by the way, you should do anyway, even if you aren't opting for MAID, make sure that you communicate everything clearly with the person you have chosen as executor so that they're not scrambling in the event of your death. But it's not going to speed up the process. The process of settling an estate still has things that they have to go through. It's a legal process. In many cases, probate is still going to be required. And probate is a legal function that allows the court to verify the will and verify the executor. That takes time. It also takes time for the filing of the terminal tax return and any other tax returns that might be required depending on your particular circumstances with your estate. All of the debts have to be settled. All the taxes have to be paid. You should make sure that you have those clearance certificates from the CRA that absolves the executor and the estate from any future tax liabilities if something comes up after the fact. And all of those things take time. And there will still be the emotion. People have an opportunity to spend quality time with their loved one when they choose MAID. But there's also the flip side of that. Sometimes some family members start to act almost like the death has already happened, and they start to think that perhaps they have some entitlement that they don't have, that they will receive things after the person passes away and after the settling of the estate and the distribution of the deceased's possessions and assets. It's a very complex decision. It's a very complex outcome. It's not for everybody, but it works very well for a lot of people. I'm a certified executor advisor. I can help people who've made these decisions or who aren't even considering MAID. I sit with families and individuals all the time, and I help guide them to what it is that they need in their circumstances to get in place so that they're very prepared when they go and set up their documents with their lawyer or their paralegal or talk to their financial professional about how to name beneficiaries and how to plan for the future. I've got an article over on my website, as always. The link is in the description box. I invite you to go over and check it out. And while you're there, check out some of the tools that I have available. You can examine them on your own, in your own time. As always, thank you for joining me this time. I look forward to sharing more with you next week. Bye for now.